everyone, trust the profits, and it's just the formula today. You get just this guy. We're here to talk about, we being me, the 2022 Kentucky Derby Focus, and I'm going to run you through my top 10 Derby contenders, at least as of April 29th, 2022. We're about 8 days away from the Derby itself. Let's get through them. Number 10, I've got Tiz the Bomb. What can you say about Tiz the Bomb? 8 races, 5 wins, already young career, 8 races already in his young career, including second at the BC Juvenile Turf. In terms of Derby prep, he won the Jeff Ruby Stakes, ran a 148 9 furlong on all weather. The negative on him, the biggest knock on him, of course, is that he does favor turf. He's been a turf-bred horse, and he was unremarkable in the time that he did get to run a stakes race on dirt at the Holy Bull Stakes, finishing sixth in that race. Again, unremarkable. Moving on to number 9, and these two, number 9 and number 10, are my long shots. Probably get the longest odds here on these two. Number 9 is Crown Pride, the Japanese horse. 4 races, 3 wins for this horse, including his win at the UAE. A 1,900 meter race, had a 159 time, comparable to what you would get in a 9.5 furlong race. The negatives on him, of course, is an outsider. Not a whole lot to compare him to in terms of the other Derby prep runners that we've seen. And the win at UAE, in terms of time, not spectacular. You rank it against the other UAE Derby times, it was 5 seconds off of the record and one of the lower wins in recent history. Okay, next up, number 8, I've got Cyberknife. Up and down on the Derby trail. First he's in, then he's out, then he's back in. In terms of big wins, Arkansas Derby got a 150 9 furlong. The negative on him, obviously he had an unremarkable Lecomte, which was a very winnable race for him, and he's been putting up lower buyer numbers. He's ranked 8 for me right now. My top Cox horse, Florent Geroux, is the jockey. Number 7, I've got him rated a little lower than a lot of people. This is a big favorite for some people, Zandon. Top tier closer. Winner of the Bluegrass Stakes, ran a 150 there in cold weather. Previously lost at the Risen Star, however, to Smile Happy, and also lost the Remsen very close to Mo Donegal. And he is a closer, so he's going to need some space in order to develop and in order to close out and win the Kentucky Derby. So I've got him ranked as 7. Moving along, Charge It, getting a little bit more speed here. This is a Pletcher horse, hasn't run his best race yet. He was second to Epicenter in the Florida Derby. Negatives on him, obviously, he wasn't a winner of any of the big Derby prep races. What we saw of him in the Florida Derby was the potential to possibly close out on Epicenter if he got a better ride, if he got a straighter ride. He looked a little bit wonky down the stretch and still closed a little bit, got in closer to Epicenter. So really what you're looking at here with Charge It is he going to peak in time for the Kentucky Derby? Is he going to run his best race in the Derby? Are we going to see what this Pletcher horse looks like? Now we're getting into the top 5. My number 5 horse is Messier. Baffert trained speedster in the mold of Medina Spirit in more ways than one. He was the winner of the Robert Lewis. Again, Medina Spirit won the Robert Lewis. Negatives on him, lost Santa Anita Derby after gaining the lead, passing the injured or ill-forgotten Kingdom. Taiba eventually overtook him and won that race. And he's also looked unremarkable in a couple other races as well, losing the Los Almanitos to slow down Andy. Baffert trained, Yak horse, Flavian Pratt on the mount at number 5. Could get a decent price on him, although I do have a feeling he might be one of the public's favorite horses. We'll see when the Derby comes around. Number 4, the other Baffert trained Yak horse, Taiba. Unbeaten, an upstart, putting up gaudy buyer figures. Just a couple races under his belt. Put up a very strong Santa Anita Derby, obviously, putting up a huge buyer number there. Past Forbidden Kingdom, past Messier down the stretch. This is a horse that a lot of people are going to jump on. The horse I think is probably going to get it's going to be the post-time favorite. But he's green, and he's only run in small fields. Some of these other horses we're talking about have been running in fields of 10, maybe 12. but I think at most he's run in a field of 8. If he gets out in front, maybe it doesn't matter. Post time maybe, or post position may be a big factor for a horse like Taiba. Now we move on to number 3, White Abarrio. Best horse coming out of Gulfstream in 5 races. This horse has 5 wins, a very unblemished record. The only loss came in 3rd place in 2021 in the Kentucky Jockey Stakes Club, the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes. In terms of Derby prep, he was the winner of the Holy Bull. He was the winner of the Florida Derby. 2 races look very similar. Saw him coming from behind at that second tier on the turn, passing up the competition. The negative, lower speed figures. He ran a 96 and a 97 in those 2 prep races. And he's also a horse that, because he does run in that second tier, although he doesn't keep too far off the pace, he might need a lane to develop in order for White Abarrio to win the Kentucky Derby. Now the top 2. Mo Donegal, a distance closer, will come from way back with power to close out a race. In terms of Derby prep, he was the winner of the Remsen early on, and the winner of the winner of the Wood Memorial most recently, running a 147 9 furlong. Obviously, the negative on him is he can get caught in traffic. Mo Donegal's a horse that we've seen needs to have lanes develop. Sometimes comes from as far as 9 horses back at the 3/4 pole, and he will need to have some space to get around. In a 20 horse race like the Derby, that could become problematic. I'm still high in Mo Donegal, however, because of what we have seen him be able to do in long distances. So if those packs start to stretch out a little bit in the Derby, he might be able to find that lane, and I have a feeling down the stretch he will have the strongest legs. Mo Donegal, Pletcher, and Irad Ortiz. Finally, number 1. What can you say about Epicenter, right? Total package, 4 wins and 1 second place finish since breaking his maiden. Winner of the Risen Star and the Louisiana Derby. In the Louisiana Derby, we're talking a 9.5 furlong race. So ran in one of the longest prep races in preparation for the Kentucky Derby. Had a 154, a 102 buyer rating. Outstanding performances. I mean, there's very few things that you can blemish Epicenter for. In terms of negatives, I'll say this: post-time odds, just like Taiba, he's either going to be 1 or 2 in terms of post-time odds. So you're not going to get a great price on him, obviously because he's shown the most of all the Derby horses leading up to this. And he's not a 1-to-1 odds dominator like we have seen in some previous years, where he's the definite favorite, has been closing out horses by 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lengths. This is a horse that has won 2 to 4 lengths against the competition. He's run against some of the best competition, in my opinion, but he hasn't put them away in such a way that has been embarrassing. So that's really the only knock on Epicenter. Very small nitpicking there. I still feel like he is the best horse and the top horse in the Kentucky Derby. That's all from the formula. I hope you enjoyed.